Hello, I'm Minco Eggersman and I'm a soundtrack composer.
This collaboration remote with musicians, how do you kind of direct them?
Yeah.
How can you give them instructions or, because closely is easy, you can hear and give immediately feedback, but what happens if it's distant?
Yeah. Working with musicians abroad is challenging, but it's definitely worth doing because I specifically want to work with the people that I chose. Throughout the years, I heard their music, or I met them at a place, or saw them performing, and heard and felt are the ones I need to ask to add to what I have to or what I want to create or what I have to share. And that ends up being people from the US, organ player from France, mandolin player from Valencia, till a guy in Norway I work with a lot who plays a lot of keys for me, organ and piano. And that's the downside, that I have to communicate with them via internet, but it's definitely worth it because I search for a certain sound or certain instrument or way of playing, and which fits to my work. And then throughout the years, I found out a way of describing what I'm after. Sometimes it being via mail, or sometimes we call, or many times we FaceTime and we look to a scene together, or I share the scene. And of course, working within a studio, being with someone face to face has benefits, and I do that a lot too. But at some points, the fact that I want to work with someone so specific is not a problem for me to then, work, remotely. And throughout the years, I've worked with, for instance, the organ player Charles Molini. I work with him on the soundtracks I made for Once Upon a Time in Calcutta and A Mutual Understanding. And he has a very good understanding of what I want, but also has access to the churches that have a beautiful sound. For instance, he worked for me in a beautiful church in Paris, but also at the Notre Dame de Bon Voyage in Cannes. Where he had access to, and then he went to the church at 3 o'clock at night when the traffic was at its lowest, and he worked till 5:30, and then we had a short FaceTime moment, and then he recorded all my parts for this film, which I then mixed within the whole soundtrack. And it's so beautiful to create something on organ in a computer with its limits, and then hearing it come back being recorded in a full empty organ with the lower parts being so rich and so deep that it's all worth it to sit behind your computer for a whole day to get it done.
If you are asking a key player here and a guitar player there, in the end they have to sound together.
Yeah.
So this is more work for you.
Definitely.
So, how does it work for you?
Yeah, it's definitely there's a lot of work that I do behind my computer when I have all parts assembled, and then I try to find the right mix, and that is purely my vision on how something should sound. And many times I get what I was searching for, I get what I want, but sometimes I get something back that is different or is not what I want, and then I have to adapt. And so you have to be very creative during the whole mixing process, which is sometimes also the composing process, because sometimes I have my composition finished and I get parts from a cello player that I wrote, but he also added an improvisation part that I like, and that I sometimes mute a part that I wrote and put in a part that he suggested. So you need to be flexible as well to be able to always be open to a new direction that the song might go. Yet you still have to keep in mind what the film needs. So it can also be that I created something that is beautiful in itself, but or I got a suggestion from a musician that is beautiful and maybe better than what I wrote, but it's too distractive when it comes to the picture. So then I go back to the original, more minimal one that I wrote, and then I put it on the soundtrack release. We are here at the Klankzicht studio, and this is a place where I record many of my soundtracks, but it's also the place where I record some of my own music, and that's the Unifony project that is very cinematic. So it's made by me and Theodoor Borger, which is music from two artists, but at the same time it's being used in film a lot. It's very cinematic, and it has a kind of the same approach where we search for a certain sound or a combination of sound, a certain vibe that tells a story, and that's very close to my work as a soundtrack composer, and something I enjoy doing a lot.
You have to collaborate with projects from all over the world. How can you combine the cultural aspects of it with your own sound?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always try to get things from the culture of the country that the film is from, whenever that's appropriate. Sometimes it's not necessary, but at the end, it will always be my music. So if a director, for instance, wants something that is 100% this style or that style, then they should aim for the people that are good in that. I'm good in what I do, but I always try to find, for instance, an Arabic string instrument into a film that has some scenes or is from that area, without being too cliche. So that's always something tricky. And sometimes it can be very minimal in the background, or it can be a combination of sounds. So I do invest in that, and I try to find out what the country, what the music, what the culture can give me. But it's always a minimal touch, of something that is added to my tone of voice, my music.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, there's more to watch.